Hey friends, what's up? Philip here with Points of Philip, and there is one fundamental reason why I think the American Express Platinum Card, any iteration, will be hands down way better than the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And well, that reason is because, as some people have, like Anthony Venture and Ben Hedges have discussed, is that the American Express CEO actually came out and talked about the fact that in the past, they've actually worked at trying to make it more difficult to get value from a lot of these credits with these high-line cards. However, he did say that now they're actually working on making the credits relatively easy to use. And so that enables more and more users to get value from the card. And I really think that if we're going to take him at his word when it comes to that, and it could be that it's not true, I think if we're going to do that, though, we have to understand the fact that, well, a lot of these cards, or a lot of these credits with the Platinum card are a lot easier to use than some of the competing credits with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And so I want to kind of dive into the credits, first of all, the Platinum card, then we're going to dive into the credits of the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and well, we're going to talk about what could be kind of the competing philosophy behind both of these. So before we do that, though, I want to ask you guys to like and subscribe. Doing that helps me and YouTube know that, well, what I'm doing is helpful for people like you. Doing that actually helps more people to view the content as well, which is something I really would appreciate. So thanks so much for your continued support. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the American Express Platinum card and why I think it's going to be the best fit for me, even though I don't even know what the next card will look like. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Platinum card here. Now, the current annual fee of the Platinum card is $695. And so it's theorized, it seems to be rumored that the annual fee of the new Platinum card will be $895, although some people seem to think that it will be closer to $1,000. We'll see where we land on that. Now, in its current iteration, and we're not talking about the future version of the Platinum card, even though we do know that it will be changed because, well, we don't have that information yet, and we're just going to talk about what we do know and go from there. So let's take a look here. Now, according to American Express's website, you can get over $1,500 in platinum value with benefits across travel, entertainment, and dining. And of course, the marketing language is platinum makes every day an adventure. Sure. All right, so let's take a look at some of these credits. So we're going to talk about, first of all, the $200 airline fee credit. Now, this is probably the most onerous, or one of the most onerous of the Platinum card credits. So you have to select one qualifying airline, and then you can receive up to $200 in statement credits per calendar year when incidental fees are charged by the airline to your Platinum card account. So on its face, it seems like this is kind of hard to use, right? You have to use it for airline fees, so taxes, fees, baggage, fees, lounge access, things like that. However, there are some workarounds, and they have been pretty public for a long time. That makes me think that American Express really doesn't care about whether or not people use them, right? So for example, if you select United Airlines as your preferred airline of choice, you have the option to just use this credit to fill your travel bank every year. And so that's $200 that you can use towards paying cash on a United flight. And by paying cash for that United flight, you can actually earn more United miles with that spend. And so not only do you get the $200 from this credit, but you also get, the miles from that spend when you use that $200 to go towards a cash ticket. And so that's pretty nice, especially if you have, say, this card and then the business platinum card. So you get $400 each year towards United Travel Bank. Now, if you want to use Delta, which is kind of the one airline that is really, really close with American Express, you can use this credit to pay cash for flights. However, you have to, there's one way to do it where you have to pay, I think it's like $50 at least on a gift card with Delta, and then, around $200 on the Platinum card or something like that, and it will code as the right way. There's also a way that if you go to change the flight and then you select a different seat, you can actually use it to kind of upgrade, to pay for upgrades and things, but you have to do it a certain way. Check Flyer Talk, Reddit, there's all sorts of data points on that. But there are ways essentially to use this credit. You don't have to really work that hard to do so, at least if you're, fans of United or something like that. I have a question. Have you ever wondered if you're really using the right credit card for every purchase? You could be missing out on tons of rewards. One app, Max Rewards, solves that problem. It's an app that links to your credit cards, and it gives you personalized recommendations to maximize your points, your miles, and your cash back. It also allows you to activate your Chase and Amex offers, as well as your Citi offers as well, and that allows you to actually save significant amounts of money. I, for one, actually stayed at the Waldorf Astoria in Orlando last year, and I actually qualified for an American Express offer on my American Express Green Card that I didn't know I'd actually activated, but I got a pleasant surprise when I saved $200 off of that stay, and I didn't even do anything to earn it. I just had Max Rewards Gold. Now, here's the thing. I'm excited about this app, and if you are too, I've secured a special deal for my viewers. If you use code Phillip, you could save 3 months or 25% off on your yearly Max Rewards Gold subscription. The link is waiting for you in the description below. Now, on to the video. So let's talk about the lounge collection as well. And so there's been a recent development on this. American Airlines, Centurion, American Express has announced that there's a new class of lounges that are going to be cropping up that are designed to kind of expand on not the footprint, but the ability of those lounges in each airport where the lounges currently exist to be able to serve more people. So there's going to be these sidecar lounges, and so that was basically designed for people that want to stay there for an hour or shorter. And so this is a way to kind of deal with the fact that, well, a lot of people are in Centurion lounges, but it's in a way to do that where, well, it doesn't specifically pluck people out. And I think the very fact that they're kind of working on investing in expanding their lounge offerings is kind of proof that their philosophy to this isn't, we need to remove people that maybe shouldn't be in the lounges, according to some people, right? It's not their theory of the case. The philosophy here is not we're going to remove people, it's we're going to expand potential access. And so that's kind of huge to me as well, because, well, that's kind of speaks a lot to how, to how a company approaches these things. So let's take a look at the next credit here, the $200 hotel credit. Now, here's the thing. You have to use your American Express Platinum card on a prepaid hotel booking through either the Fine Hotels and Resorts credit, it can be 1 night, or the hotel collection, and that can be 2 nights. And, well, the reason why there's a minimum there isn't because you have to, to use the credit, you have to stay 2 nights at a hotel collection. You have to stay 2 nights in order to have access to the hotel collection benefits. And so essentially this is kind of unlimited. If you're going to stay in a place, it seems like then, this is relatively easy to use. Now, I do know that some people have reported that this, if they go searching for a property on the Fine Hotels and Resorts or possibly the hotel collection, that rate can be higher. Now, I can only refer to what I've used. So in the past year that I've used this, I had an existing booking at the Canopy in West Palm Beach. And so I decided to, and I made that booking before I got this card. Now, the fact that I had this card, I wanted to check it out. So I went ahead and made a reservation through the hotel collection for 2 nights. And that cash rate was actually about $20 less for the 2 nights than the rate that I got for being a Diamond member directly through the Hilton app. And so my experience has been that it's actually a competitive rate. Now, I've heard that there are some properties and some places where that's not the case, and that's true. Double check, before you make these bookings. But what I was able to see is I actually saved money by using this credit, and then I also, that $200 hotel credit was amazing. But then I also got, all of the benefits of the hotel collection. We're talking early check-in, late checkout, room category upgrades, as well as a $100 property credit. And then I also ended up getting the food and beverage credit from my Hilton Diamond benefits as well. So this actually worked out really, really well for me, and that was on 1 hotel stay. So if we're taking a look at, if we're flying with United, loading our travel bank, that's $200. If we're spending 2 nights at a hotel, that's 1 staycation a year. That's $400 back on the card. Now, let's take a look at the next one up on the website, and that's going to be the $199 Clear Plus credit. And so this one here is, well, I know a lot of people like to kind of poo-poo the fact that Clear doesn't really have any benefits, but I'm someone who has used it quite a bit in the past year that I've had it. And, to be fair, the last time I used it, I tried to use it, I wasn't able to because, I chose not to because the clear line was just a little bit longer than the regular TSA pre-check line. So I decided to go to the TSA pre-check line, and it ended up being a wash as far as what the time would have been, except I had to actually. My wife was expecting to go through the clear line, so she didn't have her ID ready, and so she had to go rifling for a backpack for ID. So, I mean, yeah, first world problems, but Clear, honestly, really solid for me. We use this one, the Platinum card Clear credit to pay for me, and then the Aspire card gets a Clear credit as well, and we use that to pay for my wife. And so I definitely value this. Now, would I pay $199 for it if I didn't have it through this card? Absolutely not. But I am getting some value from that. So just from there, we're talking 450 to 550 to maybe $600, just depending on how you're doing things. Now, let's take a look at some of the other credits that are kind of automatable. So the $240 digital entertainment credit is where you get $20 in statement credits each month after you pay for eligible purchases with the Platinum card at participating partners. And so those eligible purchases are with Disney Plus, a Disney Plus bundle, ESPN Plus, Hulu, the New York Times, Peacock, and the Wall Street Journal. Now, here's the thing. Before I got this card, I was subscribed to just about every single one of those services. And so that's immediately, just by activating that card, switching over which card I used to pay that, I'm getting $20 in value each month, and I don't have to do anything. All I had to do was set it up at first and make sure everything was coming out of the right account. But other than that, that's $240 on value that I am getting based off of things that I would have already been spending on. In fact, I was already spending on it. And so that's kind of intense, really, honestly. The fact that, we're already at, let's just say if we view Clear at $100, that's $500. So $740 in value that I didn't really have to work that hard to get. Now, we're also going to talk about the Uber cash benefit. That's with a Platinum card, that's $200. That's $15 each month. But then on December, it's $20. And basically, essentially, this works where you can actually use it to subsidize your Uber rides, or you can also use it to subsidize Uber Eats. And so this is really interesting because it hits your account each month. You have to use it each month. It doesn't carry over. But with Uber Eats, I found that actually they don't charge me anything else to be able to actually order pickup orders near my office. And so that's very easy for me to use. So if we're taking a look at, that's $940 in value. And all I'm doing is right now is going to one hotel stay a year, going on United Travel Bank one time a year, and then going to get a free lunch twice a month. So that's nice. I like that, right? Okay, so you also get access to global dining residence. Now, here's the thing. We're going to talk about the Saks credit. The Saks credit is broken, and it's largely Saks that broke it. Now, it's $100 total, $50 every 6 months. And the problem is that Saks Fifth Avenue kind of seemed to underemphasize or underrealize exactly how many people would actually be doing this. And so essentially what they did was they bumped up the minimum required for free shipping. So you have to spend for shipping, but you can use this. In fact, I have been able to use this for cooking utensils that I've bought online. Now I didn't have to pay for shipping, but it's definitely, I wouldn't put it at $100, but there's some value there. But I'm not even going to talk about that in my calculations because, I don't have to, because we're already at $940 in value and I didn't have to work that hard to get it. Now let's take a look at Walmart Plus. So Walmart Plus is where it gives you a $12.95 statement credit back each month after you pay for a monthly Walmart Plus membership. Now here's the thing. If you pay for Walmart Plus yearly, it charges you, I think it's $98. So you're not saving $155 by doing this. You're saving $98 because that's how much it would cost you to do that. However, if you're on the, I'm going to cancel it, wait a couple months until they target me with a bounce back offer, that can be as low as $50 for the year. So between $50, between $98, you're getting some value. But what do you get with this? It's kind of intense. With you get Paramount Plus, the ad version to be sure. You get free same day delivery from your store. You also get free delivery from Walmart online as well. And then you also get some interesting things like 10 cents off per gallon of gas when you go with Exxon or some other gas stations. And then you also get some Burger King benefits as well that I haven't really used, but Uncle Luke likes to talk about it. So, there's some value there. At least he was able to. Now, let's take a look at some of the more of the other credits here. So, well, I guess that's actually, yeah, that's pretty much all of the credits that really essentially matter at this point. There are some others, but we're not going to talk about those. So here's the thing. The philosophy behind these credits are you don't have to work that hard to get value from these credits. And that's kind of where I'm going here for, because if, the Amex CEO, when he says that they're working to make it easy or relatively easy to get value from these credits, well, the proof is in the pudding. This is easy. And it's not just this card. The American Express Gold Card, the Resi credit is $100, $50 back, twice a year. Even if I don't live in a city that has Resi restaurants, if I just go to a different size city twice in a year, I'm getting that benefit from that card. You also get the Uber Eats and the dine-in credit, which is really wide open as well, on top of the Dunkin' credit, which all you have to do is fund or re-up a gift card every month or so. So that's kind of intense how easy it is to get this value. And so if this is what the CEO is saying, that they expect to continue to make their credits easy, well, it's going to be a lot easier, better to use than the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And so let's take a look at the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And I'm not going to cherry pick the worst ones. We're just going to go through everything that shows up on their website. So you get up to $500 annually for prepaid bookings made with The Edit, which is a hand-picked collection of hotels and resorts. Here's the thing. The Edit collection is significantly smaller than the Fine Hotels and Resorts and the Hotel Collection kind of band. So not only are they significantly smaller, but there's also, well, they're much more expensive. And it seems to be, from what I've seen, it seems like the Edit collection hotels can be significantly more expensive. And so I don't have any direct experience with that, because I don't have access to the Edit. But it seems to me that can be a problem with this. Now, it comes in $250 every 6 months. So, if you stay at a hotel twice in a year, you can use it. But if you can value it at $500, that's kind of the question. And it's also the question of, is a Edit collection hotel going to be where you would naturally want to vacation? And so this is a key concern here. Now, the one great thing, the one shining beacon of the Sapphire Reserve is this $300 travel credit. It is completely wide open. If you use the Reserve card for a travel-related purchase, like a rental car, a hotel, airfare, anything, it gets reimbursed directly through an account statement credit. So that's kind of the shining beacon, and that's as good as it gets for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So let's take a look here at, so we talked about the Edit. Let's take a look at, I'm just scrolling down the website now. So you get IHG One Rewards Platinum Elite status, which gets you something. Gold Elite status would also get you even less of something. Now, this one has a global entry, TSA PreCheck, or Nexus fee credit. If you don't have TSA PreCheck or global entry, you need to get it. But this is $120 every 4 years as a reimbursement for the application fee charged to your card. You also have a lot of really good travel protections. Now, let's take a look at the dining credit. So this is $300 annually in statement credits when you dine with the Chase Sapphire Reserve exclusive tables. And so these restaurants, well, there's only a handful of them in every single city, and you have to live in a big city in order to get a handful. Some of them have one, some of them have two, and they're very expensive. And so you have to use $150 every 6 months. And, well, this one's, again, insanely difficult to get compared to a Resi credit, because Resi is wide open. There are, tens, if not dozens, of restaurants and, significantly, interestingly, like not high tier cities. So it's a much bigger program, easier to use credit. And, again, Chase seems committed, between the Edit and this Sapphire exclusive tables, seems committed to locking their users into the Chase ecosystem. Now, Amex is doing kind of the same thing with the Fine Hotels and Resorts and the Resi collection, but it doesn't feel quite as restrictive. And the reason why is because, well, the fine hotels and resorts and the hotel collection are pretty wide open, and as is Resi. Like you can have a lot more different options. You're not just choosing between this restaurant or this other restaurant. And so that's important to note. So let's go into another one here. I'm just scrolling down here, sorry. So you have Apple TV Plus and Apple Music. Now they say it's worth $250 annually. I've actually never paid for Apple TV Plus. I always just wait until somebody gives it to me for free for a couple months and then binge watch everything I've been missing. But my wife uses Apple Music, so we could get something like that. But the really bad thing is I want to talk about the DoorDash credit. So they basically talk about you get $420, nice, in total value with DoorDash. And so they break it down. You get the you get the Dash Pass for free, but then you also get $300 annually in monthly DoorDash promos. So here's the thing, DoorDash. What do you think of when you hear the word DoorDash? And that's food delivery, right? Would you like to know how much you get towards food delivery with that $300? $5 each month to spend on restaurant orders. And then in addition to round it out, you get two $10 promos each month to save on groceries, retail orders, and more. I don't know what can be more other than the groceries and retail orders, but that's there, right? So you really have to work hard to get that. Now they do have Lyft credits as well, and that's going to be $10 in monthly in-app credits up to $120 monthly. And so those don't carry over. That's, it's a little bit harder to use than the Uber cash credit because, well, Uber Eats and Uber can both use that, whereas Lyft is just for rideshare. So that's kind of important to note. Then you get $10 a month at Peloton, which, okay, it's not COVID anymore. No one has a Peloton. And if they do, it's still just kind of stacked in their garage. I currently don't. But yeah, and then you have StubHub, $300 in annual credits is $150 every 6 months. This one's not so bad. StubHub is fine. It's a monopoly, but it is what it is. But that's really kind of the big ones. Now, if you can spend $75,000 to unlock a couple other ones, but we're not going to talk about that. But at the end of the day, I really think the American Express Platinum appears to be more aimed at, first of all, automation and ease of use. There are well-publicized ways to go around some of the more onerous American Express Platinum card credits, and, well, they're still there. You can still use them. They've been published for years now, and, well, they haven't been broken yet. And so this assertion that the Amex CEO is making, where essentially he's trying to help people get value from this card, you can see it in action. It's what they're doing. With the Chase Sapphire Reserve, it's locking you into Chase's ecosystem, which can help Chase. I get why they're doing it. But it comes at the expense of being able to actually get value from the card. And so that's why one of the reasons why, although we don't know what's happening with the American Express Platinum card, well, I think it's going to be the best one. Anyway, I'm sure you have opinions as well. Please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks so much for joining me. And, well, I can't wait to see you guys until next time. Bye.